Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of the Switch It Up Show. My name is Glenn and I will be your host today as we explore the wonderful world of indie games on the Nintendo Switch. But alas, I cannot go alone. In fact, a little birdie once told me that it is dangerous to go alone. So I am taking along the kindest of friends, Mr. Setrav. Setrav, how are you this evening?
I am doing very well, and it's funny you say that because you were sort of like my gal pal, and as an early Galentine's Day present, because as you know, it's coming up on February 13th.
Nope.
Galentine's Day
excuse
is the 13th.
Me. Oh, jeez. Just realized what we were doing.
Valentine is the 14th, my guy. That's this Sunday, February 14th, 2021. And because of all of that, I'm going to be doing the remake of Galgun.
It's a remake?
It is a remake.
It's
called Galgun Returns.
From the
Because originally I played Galgun 2. You can go back listen to on an earlier episode of the Switch It Up Show.
I'm like, that game needs a we're gonna find all about it. Don't worry, I'll see if I can balance the scales with Galgun. Alright, but before we do that, let's go ahead and enjoy some wonderful scales of these sweet beats. Anamanaguchi, ladies and gentlemen. Wonderful band, wonderful music, wonderful time here on the Switch It Up Show. Make sure you check out the show notes to find out where you can listen to all those wonderful tunes that you hear in the episode. Now, before we jump into Galgun, we're going to talk a little bit about Crossword City Chronicles. I feel like these two games could not be any more different whatsoever. I'm playing Crossword City Chronicles over on Steam for the Mac, and it's also on the PC. Name of the show is the Switch It Up Show, and although we normally explore... Am I boring you, Mr. Trav? I see you taking a deep yawn.
Oh.
A deep yawn over there. I'm laying down gold right now. You could at least wake it up. All right. So Crossword City Chronicles on Steam. I played it for the Mac, also available on the PC. It is $4.99, but alas, it's on sale right now. You can get it for $3.99. So, some deals to be had. There's multi-layers to this synopsis that they're laying down here on the Steam shop. So let me go ahead and give you all the deets. Play as a 1950s reporter investigating crimes by using your word-building skills to interview, interrogate, convince, deceive, and debate your way to a solution. Draw letters to tiles onto a rack, and then place them onto the board to make a word that connects with those already in place to advance the plot. Play the game that combines word puzzles with adventure, crime, and mystery. Star as an investigative reporter and detective whose object it is to solve cases and grab headlines. Your tools? A nose for news and an eye for double word bonuses. Find hidden clues, interview suspects, and catch criminals by scoring big in crossword challenges. In this city, brains do the heavy lifting because words are power. The key features: word puzzles meet adventure and murder. Beat crossword challenges to solve cases. Use your detective skills and dictionary by revealing clues in order to score word bonuses. Interview suspects with mini games like word connections, target word score, tile reveals, and more. Unlock mysteries and conspiracies as you play as a 1950s investigative reporter whose object it is to get big leads. Explore a city filled with colorful characters. New episodes are revealed with regular updates. Languages, they got them in spades. English, French, Italiano, Espanol, Dutch, Portuguese, and Netherlands. I didn't know the Netherlands had their own language. I'm learning something today. Basically you can play this on if you have a computer, you're playing it because the requirements to run this game are pretty low, as is the price. But despite the fact that the price and requirements are low, the value is high. Crossword City Chronicles, this is kind of like a blend between like a regular type crossword game, a visual novel, and Boggle. Basically what you're doing is, like they said, you're an investigative reporter, so you're a private eye, a detective, if you will, and there are different crimes that are committed, and you have to go and interrogate people, and, basically try to drag information out of them, and how you do that is by scoring more words, and like revealing more blank spaces. Those are just a couple of the mini games that are in there, on this, kind of Scrabble or Words with Friends, if that was your bag, type board. Yeah, I mean, that was super popular, for a while. And
the iPhone was like iPhone 4, I think.
Yo,
right?
That was good times, though.
That was like
good times.
When apps were really taking off.
Yeah, that's right. But they have some words like already placed down, and then you basically add on to them in a Scrabble-like fashion. So even though they say Crossword City Chronicles, like you are going like, across from one word to another, but it's not so much crossword in the fact of like a crossword puzzle. That's not the type of game that we're talking about here. It's more so like, it's more so Scrabble meets Boggle, because there's different games that involve like playing around with your letters. Nice thing is that like I personally, like, I'm not good at Boggle. I'm terrible at it. But I'm okay at like a Scrabble. I'm not the worst. But if you're playing this game, basically what happens is like, you're trying to get information out of somebody. You have to try to spell like bigger words, or use as many of your tiles. The higher score your tiles are, the more you reveal on the space, or the more like pressure you put on the person you're interviewing to either confess or give you some more details or move you on to the next lead, and which in turn advances the story. That's basically what you're doing. There's types of different bonuses. There is some it's like somewhat decent background music, and as you're playing, there's different puzzles and there's different boards and different objectives that you have to do in order to either score high, reveal more space on the board, use as many of your tiles as possible. They try their best to mix it up with something that like we're all pretty familiar with. They even have ones where it's almost like a Rubik's Cube, and like the letters are all put together, and you have to try to drop in a tile to spell a word, and then the letters will like kind of shuffle down, almost like in a Connect Four type way, and then they have like little bombs that'll explode and clear off and make new letters. Like, it's cool if you're into like word games and puzzles and stuff like that, and you want to like kind of like dip your toe maybe into the visual novel world. This might be a good game for you. If you're into like word games and puzzle games, I feel like you're really gonna like this, because this takes that and builds onto it. And because they're updating it and for free, with like more cases and more stories, and the words are like always changing. It's not like they're always giving you the same tiles. It's random, so there's a bunch of replayability here. So if you're into those type of games, Scrabble, Boggle, Words with Friends, Crosswords, like this is definitely something that you're gonna want to check out. And like, dude, for $3.99 on sale, like you can't. It's pretty hard to beat that. That's super cheap. I don't understand why this isn't on more platforms. I guess it just wasn't developed for that. I could totally see this playing on the Switch, especially with the touch controls. I feel like I play a lot of games for Switch, like a lot of point adventure, a lot of visual novel, and they don't always support touch controls. And I don't know what it is, but maybe just as I get older, I'm just lazier. I'm like, can I just touch it? Like, can I just hit the button? But I feel like this would be perfect, especially dragging over tiles and stuff like that. So Crossword Cities Chronicles, available on the Steam for PC or Mac, $3.99 on sale, $4.99. I'm gonna go ahead and give this game a 4 out of 5.
Nice.
Yeah, man, good times.
Good fun with word puzzles.
Yeah.
And now, of course, we're getting into the Smut Fest. And let me tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, before I get into it, I just want to say that it's a little wild that I can say that I have reviewed a series of Galgun games at this point. One of the earlier episodes, like I said, that we did on the SwitchITUP show was a review for Galgun 2 on the Nintendo Switch, and now we're doing Galgun Returns, a remake of the original, which was never released in the West. It is $44.99, and it's available tomorrow. That's February 12th, 2001, and you get 225 gold coins when you purchase it digitally. The infamous Ichi Rail Shooter is back. Huge cast with over 70 girls. Add the main heroines, angels, and all the students/faculty at the academy together, and you get a huge cast of over 70 characters. In addition to the students and faculty, you may even cross paths with some ladies who are pretty rare sightings. Let those pheromone shots fly to stop the hordes of girls trying to confess their love to you, and you just might be in for a happy ending with your one true love. Aim for the ecstasy shot. Every girl has a weak spot where pheromone shots are extra effective. You know you found it when you see things like ka and in Japanese, and then I don't know that one very well. Appear, steady your aim and land the shot there, and that'll trigger the ecstasy shot, which gives a girl euphoria in just one shot. Enjoy the satisfaction of Doki Doki mode. Once you meet certain conditions, you can really concentrate and marvel, shoot, at a girl from a bunch of different angles in Doki Doki mode. Fill that girl's Doki Doki gauge within the time limit, and not only will you give her euphoria, but you'll also be rewarded for your efforts. An absolute wealth of panty design. True aesthetics in those hidden areas is what Galgun is all about. A grand total of 423 types of panties are waiting to be discovered. There may even be more to come. The girls are even cuter than before. 10 years have passed since the original, and these girls are more charming than ever. Some characters have new hairstyles and other small changes that make them stand out even more. Play a variety of game modes. Fall in love with the girl of your dreams in story mode. Show off your sharpshooting skills in score attack mode. Live out your fantasy of multi-person Doki Doki mode with Doki Doki Carnival and a whole lot more. Fully voiced dialogue. Every single one of the 70 girls in the game is fully voiced by a wonderful group of voice actresses. Enjoy every minute of this amazing cast performance. Most of the DLC comes preloaded. From bikinis to aprons and more, the popular DLC from back when is ready to be enjoyed from the get-go. Event CGs everywhere. Brand new CGs have been added for each heroine's introduction and in a bunch of instances throughout the story as well. Complete gallery mode, over 250 illustrations, both old and new, are ready for you to enjoy. It's from our friends over at P-Cube, developed by the folks at Inti Creates, and it is rated M, of course, for sexual themes. So, my dude, first and foremost, this is the waifu House of the Dead. You know, it's the time crisis waifu hunter. Because you are on a rail shoot, and you're just going, and you're shooting at different ladies. One of the biggest things that I feel like they missed here is that there's, like, no motion mode. Like, I can't just use the single Joy-Con and shoot around. Like, this should be Duck Hunt, but with ladies. Like I said, I played another Galgun. I played the sequel to this. And I feel like it's kind of weird to say, but I did notice that the sequel was actually better. Because in this Galgun, you just choose between like one of 4 or 5 different ladies, and then you pursue them. And that's that. And there's no like branching path of things that you say or do or choose to say and do to them. There is some different dialogue that can happen, but overall it's really straightforward experience. Unlike Galgun 2, which is, you know, it's got a little bit of variety. It's got some replayability there, which is interesting to say, because again, this is a game that at face value, you think it's just smut. But like Waifu Hunter, there was actually some fun to be had here. Unfortunately, I would say not as much fun. The most interesting parts are, I want to say, these sort of boss fight type things that happen when you're about to like waifu up somebody. You have like different things where it's like you gotta spell out a word, you gotta like shoot a tentacle monster, things like that. It's like some variety, and there's some interesting stuff to it, but it's not enough to necessarily make the game more than just a very simple, straightforward rail shooter. There are aspects to your character. You can see different things like your charm and your strength and your charisma and all this kind of stuff go up, so there's RPG elements. But overall, it's relatively straightforward. A lot of innuendo, so it is kind of silly. The music I think is pretty good, and graphically, it looks decent. It looks good. It's cel shaded and smooth. Um, I I didn't really, peruse around the gallery too much, but it is relatively easy to see that you unlock things. I wasn't, clicking on the images to see how risque it was actually getting. But as they advertise, there are some bikini shots. So, ladies and gentlemen, because of all of this, I am going to give Gal Gun Returns a 3.5 out of 5.
It's pretty good score for that type of game, I think.
Yeah, like I said, it's odd that there is some interest to it and some depth and some fun, but it's not. If you're a fan of the genre, you're definitely gonna like it. But it's not as in depth or robust as Galgun 2. So this would be a great place to start if you aren't familiar with the series and you do enjoy waifu style games.
It's kind of crazy because the Switch does have like definitely Nintendo's largest collection of them available to the West.
There's a depth that is open and available that I feel like isn't available on other systems.
No.
But I've never bothered to check on the Xbox Marketplace or PlayStation stores.
I will tell you right now, if they're on the PlayStation network or Xbox or something like that, because we have PlayStation, we've done PlayStation games here on the show. I never see one come across the store.
Never see it.
I see them. I see them front and center all the time on the eShop.
On Nintendo Switch, they're right there. They
all
give
the time.
It to you.
I wonder if they have a way that you can filter out the store, if you have parental controls or something like that, because it'll be right. It pops up right next to Mario.
They're you played Blasphemous, you would love Waifu Hunter.
They definitely give equal.
Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball 4K remake.
They definitely give equal attention to every game that comes on the Nintendo Switch.
120 FPS.
They're all on there,
ladies and gentlemen.
Well, this episode definitely featured a little bit from column A and a little bit from column B, because here, unlike a lot of other Nintendo Switch podcasts, we like to switch it